Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast. With me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're roaring it up, people. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night, a Spork of Ice and Fire. I am Sporking, or Scott, which either one you want to call me. And tonight we are going to be talking mostly about the Battle of Blood and the Battle of Steel that we are prepping for in the Winds of Winter. But I want to welcome you all back to a Spork of Ice and Fire tonight.
You know, we actually qualify as preppers now. We've been doing it for a decade and a half.
We have been doing it way too long. But sharpen that Valyrian steel spork, everybody. The Battle of the Winds of Winter has begun, in my mind at least. We'll go over a little bit of the Ice and Fire. We do have two past live streams you can check out. And those are the ones that GRRM has promised. But before plunging into Steel and Blood, the one born of prophecy, sample chapters, and fan obsession, we will discuss the other two first. These aren't just wars of men, but wars of symbols. Ice cracking under treachery, fire consuming a city, steel ringing between false kings, and blood fueling eldritch magic. It's going to get bloody and strange and very, very Euron. So let's do this. And I'm putting up a little poll real quick to see which battle you are most psyched out or psyched for. And don't tell me we're never getting it, because I already understand that. Imagine if we did. But with me tonight, we have the amazing, the awake Stig Kenobi. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing quite well. And I'm awake, but not woke.
I'm glad to hear that. I am definitely glad to hear that. And we were talking backstage and about Joe Abercrombie's Devils. I need to start reading that so we can go over it.
So as well, Tina.
Yeah.
I bought it. It is on my nightstand. I have not started it yet, but it is literally the next second I have any time to read. It is the top of the pile right now.
It is magnificently fucked up in a way that makes sense.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
All messed up stuff make complete sense, which makes it even more fucked up, doesn't it?
We have Tina with us tonight. And how are you, Tina?
I'm doing very well. It's been, a crazy week already. Getting ready for a big move at my office.
Oh, I was about to say.
I've been trying to clean out, a desk that's got 20 years of piled stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this.
Nice.
That's
why do I have this?
That's where you find old treasures too.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, you do. Like that, 30-year-old scotch some old boss hid somewhere, something like that.
I found a video game magazine from 1993 in one of my drawers.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, how cool.
That's definitely cool. I like that. Well, we're like trying to minimalize my house. Try that with 3 kids. It's really tough. But my wife is gung-ho and she's doing great at it. I'm trying to help out. We have my son's birthday party coming up. He's going to be 4. So we got that
Oh my
going on.
God, 4
Yeah.
already. I feel like
Yeah.
just yesterday, Mrs. Sporks was
Yeah.
having a baby.
I know.
I
It's crazy, right?
remember that. She hatched 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago, he hatched.
I didn't think it was 4 years, though. I thought it was less.
No, man, I know. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 years. September 16th. He is my wife now is a fire white, but my son made it. Sorry, Drogo.
Want to hear something scary, though?
What's that?
We are closer to turning 60
I
than
know.
we are to the release of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh my God. That you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So much closer. I'll be
Yeah.
50 in
This is
January.
why
I
it crushed everyone's psyche with that.
Wow.
trying to make us all
But
cry.
if you think about stuff in terms of movie releases and then you go the other way,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it messes with your head.
Oh, you want
fast time goes.
You want to know one that always, and we'll get into it in a second, everybody. So please let us know who's out there in the chat. Say hi or hail or, fire and blood. But one thing that always messes with my head, we are closer, or Cleopatra is closer to us today than the building of the pyramids. Like her timeline, put her here, she is closer to us over here than the pyramids being built over there.
Yeah.
That's what old Egypt was.
A lot of people don't think about that because you would think it happened around the same time because it's the same area.
Mm-hmm.
No. The pyramids are old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, but I think isn't Egypt as well as China too has tens of thousands of years old. So I think
that's what they say in their King's List, and we could talk about that on Thursday night because you know how I love a good conspiracy and lost ancient history. But
that
you
would
know
be
what?
cool.
I would love to ask you this, Tina. Did you know that GRRM confirmed ice and fire battles, but not the steel and blood? So why do you think fans stick with these names and this idea that these battles are going to happen? I want you to think about that while I read my little blurb I got going. What up, Sonny? What up, Big Dave 93?
I know, because he said he would resolve both battles early in book 6.
Right. Yeah. So before diving in, I have like little puns and stuff. I thought you would be proud.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Of course not. I fucking love you, man. Before diving into ice, let's pause on George himself. GRRM has confirmed that the Winds of Winter will open with 2 battles. Like Stig just said, the Battle of Ice in the north.
That's like a decade ago.
Yeah, he did tell us. He might have forgot by now. And the Battle of Fire in Meereen. He teased these for years in interviews, stressing that the books doesn't creep forward slowly, but explodes into war right off the rip. But he hasn't used the name Steel or Blood. Those are definitely fandom creations, but he has dropped hints, like in sample chapters like Theon 1 and sample chapter Barristan 1 and the Forsaken paint vivid images of these battles to come. So when we say Steel or Blood, remember we're not taking this from the text and from prophecies. Ice and Fire is canon, but Steel and Blood we're taking from the fandom, which is freaking awesome. All right. So what do you guys think? Why hasn't GRRM? Let's pretend GRRM has been writing. Let's not even go with the idea that we're not getting these books. Why hasn't he confirmed these other 2 battles, which in the sample chapters you get, you have the Forsaken that's kind of showing us what he's up to, Euron, and then you have Ariana 1 and 2 kind of in the thick of what's going on with Fagon, and John Con.
I have a theory about that.
All right.
The battles he hasn't confirmed, maybe they won't be much battles. It'll be swift and just like swift invade and take over.
Right. Or even flip that. Fire and ice will be quick, and these will be the drawn out ones. That's why he hasn't said anything. What about you, Tina?
Ooh, I was following Steve, but I do like that kind of idea.
he likes to troll. So, I mean, it's something he could do, you know?
And I really could see him finish the Battle of Meereen quickly.
Right.
Another thing is if he doesn't have a point of view character on the battlefield,
right,
there's not too much to write. So if it's like in Oldtown, you have Sam over there,
right?
But he'll be inside that citadel.
Is he going with Marwyn? Maybe like, will anybody actually be there except for maybe? You know, you have a valid point there if you think about it. And real quick, I'm sorry. Riff Mangoes, one of my oldest subscribers. Not oldest. Let me rephrase that. One of my first subscribers. Member for 10 months. I'm glad I can continue sharing the love, dude. I 100% thank you, channel members, and anybody who watches. You know, donating your time, money. I don't care what it is. Thank you for doing it, and I get to chat with people I really dig. So, no, what I was going to say is that Sam might be leaving Oldtown, maybe, with Marwyn. So the only person in there is, you know,
one of the Martells.
Well, that or the guy who used to be Jaqen H'ghar. You know, you have a faceless man in there, but he's not a POV.
And neither is the Martell chick.
Right. So, or the Sands chick, the Sand Snake.
Yeah, it could simply be that, oh crap, they're attacking, and that's when Sam leaves. He just hauls ass out of there.
Right.
Grabs some books and leaves with Marvin, and then we don't know what happens.
Yeah, will we not see a point of view from inside the gates, and we only see what Euron and his brother see from the boat?
Yeah,
I mean, that could be it.
Or we just see the aftermath.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to blood. Actually, I'm sorry. We're jumping ahead. We'll get to blood. So Ruben Christopher Haynes says, yes, I am lurking. I'm lurking. Hail, and I am older than you. Well, that's good. But you look damn good, bro. You lost a ton of weight. I'm very happy for you. Met you down in Florida a couple of years back, and I've been watching your transformation. It's really cool. All right, so let's start with an overview real quick of the Battle of Ice. That's Stannis versus Bolton Frey alliance. We start in the snow. This comes straight from Theon preview chapter in the Winds of Winter. Stannis is entrenched at the Crofters village, the lake frozen solid, and he's planning to trap the Freys on treacherous ice. It's not just classic Baratheon stubbornness, it's the old northern way of war. Think back to how the Stark Kings once used the land itself to win battles, luring enemies into marshes or winter storms. Here,
also,
Stannis,
you know, the tricking the enemies onto the ice,
right,
is straight out of King Arthur.
Yes. See, King Arthur, which one is that?
The King Arthur myth. It happens.
I was thinking Harry Potter.
It's the generation before Arthur.
Right. Okay.
So maybe his dad or something. He does that to an army.
It's a great tactic, even if it's just, you know, literary. It's such a cool idea. So you have. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They also put it a reference to it in the King Arthur movie with Clive Owen, where Ray Stevenson runs out to the ice and smashes the ice.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite Arthur stories.
Yeah, that one's cool. I like it.
I like how it kind of tries to stay. What's that?
Stannis is in it. He plays Merlin.
He is. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. I forgot about that. I just like how they try to use history with that one.
I think Sir Davos is in it too. Maybe
he could be. We should
one
check
of the
that.
Romans, something like that. Yeah.
So, Stannis is trying to, like you said, use these northern tactics and turn the North into his allies. The Karstark's betrayal, the loyalty of the mountain clans he has, and the looming question of whether the lake will swallow the Freys or Stannis himself. All of it makes this fight as much about northern history and identity as about swords. And we are getting to see Stannis set this trap up, and this could be one of those moments where George, it doesn't work. So, we see Stannis thinking outside the box because everyone says he's like, he's like iron. He'll bend. He'll bend till he breaks. But as we've discussed on this channel many times, Stannis is a tactician. He will change his philosophy like that if it's going to win him a battle.
Well,
he beat the Ironborn at sea.
Here's where I'm worried. If Stannis wins, there's no more antagonists in the north except for the White Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And another thing is, usually when people get cocky, that's when George punishes them.
Yes.
And Stannis got cocky.
Mm-hmm.
He was ranting about, who is this Ramsay bastard? Well, I won this and that. And he boasted about how he won at the wall. And I'm thinking, you're setting yourself up for a
for the
a
fall.
George Gordon smackdown there, right?
You know it. At least he won't die as bad as he did it in the show.
Yeah, but there's symbolism going on with the gargoyles,
mm-hmm.
because gargoyles are there to protect, castles and fortresses, right?
Yeah.
And George pointed out that the gargoyles at Winterfell were cracking and crumbling,
mm-hmm.
but they weren't ruined yet.
Right. Meaning you could beat down the Starks and you thought you defeated them, but they're still holding on.
And, they keep saying, Tyrion is a gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
And he's starting to look like one because now he's lost his nose.
Yeah, and he may get grayscale at some point.
And they call him Devil Monkey, which is what a lot of gargoyles look like.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was defending King's Castle, he was the protector.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the King's Landing, he was the protector. He was the gargoyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's some symbolism with Tyrion right there. So I think Stannis might, I don't think he's going to, I would like him to win, but I don't think he will.
Right.
I think it will be close.
Right.
And I think he'll, the Boltons will feel it.
Yep.
And then I think, Jon Snow moving south later on, I think that's going to be similar to the show, but not the same, because we've already had Stannis do all the stuff Jon Snow did in the show, where he
mm-hmm.
gathered north, basically. So I think that Winterfell battle is 50-50.
Right. It could be, and what
and then again, what the hell will happen to Theon?
Well, if Ramsay gets a hold of him too, but don't forget the Freys may get destroyed. And I think this is what's going to happen. And let me know if you think, Tina, this is something. You got him waiting for the attack, Stannis. The Freys are coming first, but right after them, the Manderleys. They will pinch the Freys, destroy them. But then here comes, the bastard of the Boltons, Ramsay, up their ass. So it could be one of those things where you think they've won, and then Ramsay out of nowhere, somehow, cracks the ice, because it could be the Freys fall through the ice, but it could be Stannis too. I love you, Sherry.
And the Norse mythology thing where
mm-hmm.
Stannis would be representing Forseti,
right?
Who is the god of justice,
mm-hmm.
which is why he's so black and white,
right?
Now, and he's obsessed with justice, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And
look, what Davos is the perfect example.
Yeah, and before Ragnarok, or rather during, he's basically going to right the wrongs of the land. That's
mm-hmm.
what it says he's going to do. He's not mentioned in the final battle, though, in Ragnarok.
Right.
So I don't think he makes it to the last book.
Maybe not.
But
guys,
he'll still, and if you're righting the wrongs,
mm-hmm.
it would be the Boltons and the Freys, wouldn't it?
Right. Yes. And let's just say they do. Well, before that, I want to read one of my favorite lines from that sample chapter, Theon. The line says, "The snow fell and the lake froze, and Stannis Baratheon had them where he wanted them." That's GRRM telling us the battlefield itself is Stannis's weapon. It's going to be that, that's towards the end, I believe. Like, he's using the lake, the snow, everything as a weapon. He's set up so well to win this. I have a feeling he won't. that's how George works. But maybe he'll troll us by not trolling us, and actually let Stannis win. But then you have Mason from Free Folk of the Fandom. And Tina, after Stannis wins, there will be a succession crisis because he already told Jon he'd put him in place. But Rickon's coming back, most likely. Sansa, which I know Stannis wouldn't want because she's married to, she's married to, what's his name? Tyrion. And then you have fake Arya that people think is Arya and they want to support her. I don't know. What do you think?
I like the idea of if there is a secession crisis, that Shireen gets betrothed to Rickon.
That would be a perfect one. And then she gives him an SD, or well, it wouldn't be an STD because it would be grayscale. But something like that.
Rock hard. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, make sure you guys check out Free Folk of the Fandom if you are not subscribed to him. Mason is a great guy, friend of the channel. I think he's like 19 away from 100, so he can go do live streams on his phone. We just want to help him.
Oh, you pointed out, Sporking, that the I think it was some of the tribes people that Stannis has with them. They have these snowshoes.
Oh yeah.
Which are kind of like tennis. You're walking on tennis rackets, kind of. Yeah. And it was pointed out that the walls at Winterfell were not well kept, so the snow went all the way up to the wall, which means those snowshoes are ideal.
Yep.
Completely ideal.
Were you on that stream we talked about it? Because someone brought up, like, look, the snow's already this high on the wall. They're never gonna make it. But by the time they get there, it might be within a 10-foot ladder. And if they can figure a way, I mean, they can run up the snow with their snowshoes on and maybe use, just for the last X amount of feet, a grappling hook and just pull themselves up and over. They can take that castle pretty easy.
You have Mance Raider on the inside
who
can help get them inside. And then all they have to do is open the gate and sabotage it.
Yeah. Well, you got Mance, and I think there's others in there that are working with Stannis. I do.
Because Mance is definitely working for Stannis. Because he, what was it? He was talking to him.
They talked to him for like an hours, right?
No, it was more. It was days.
Yeah, he went in every day and talked to him for hours. So you know what? That's a good question. I don't remember how much they sat down and spoke, but I'm going to find out right now.
It was a lot.
Do you think that there's a chance that Mance Raider has an army?
No. More of a guerrilla fighter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because he has those spear wives, whatever, with him.
Yeah, and they're pretty badass.
Oh, yeah. And I still think Mance Raider is Arthur Dayne.
I don't doubt that. I can easily believe that.
Yeah, all the theories about that are rock solid because it's backed up.
Right. And I mean, one of the greatest examples is Jon sparring with him. And he said he became alive, a different person, and he was using a two-handed greatsword or whatever, Dawn is. It's the same style of sword. And the way George has Jon explain Mance's movements, he becomes another fighter altogether. And that's something, he can hide who he is, but when it comes to instinct, that's hard to hide. And that's what George is telling us. Like, with his sword instincts, he can't hide that. He becomes Arthur Dayne.
Plus, he also kept singing songs from Dorne.
Yes.
Which Mance Raider would not know if his original backstory is true.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't tell me the exact. So it just says Stannis himself mentioned spending hours speaking with the man. So they definitely spent quite a while, and then all of a sudden, he's glamored and changed, and they torched somebody else, which is one of my favorite moments. So let's see. So the question is, will the ice crack under the Freys or under Stannis himself? Now, he's on a small island, but maybe to draw them in, he might have to step out onto the ice like he's going to defend his village. Because all he did was shift the village lights. Like, he put lights where the tower in the village would be and stuff on that island. because in this snowstorm, you're going to barely be able to even see the lights. So they'll definitely walk on the lake, but will he have to draw them in?
What if the lake doesn't break?
Mm-hmm.
Then he's screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that lake, you know, given the harsh weather, that ice is not brittle.
That's what I was thinking too. Like we have been fed this idea that Stannis is drilling holes. He's waiting for this setup. They keep going out and reopening the holes. But the longer it takes for them to get there, the thicker that ice is. It's never going to get, thinner. It
freezes fast.
Yep.
Especially if you're supposed to believe that the other is coming down from the north, which is why the storm is getting worse. So it's only going to get colder and snow more. So there's no.
Yeah, there's.
You know how Melisandre told Davos that the Great Other has black eyes?
Mm-hmm.
The only one that has pitch black eyes is that three-eyed raven.
I'm telling you, I've been saying it for how long? The three-eyed raven, if it's not the Great Other, it's somebody working for the Great Other. And, what's his name? Brendan Rivers is actually the only time he entered Bran's dreams was when he was a weirwood tree.
Doesn't he have Euron have a black eye too?
He has the onyx or the obsidian eye. Yeah.
So half the other.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how I'm so in anticipation for this book that I know we're going to get Winds of Winter. That the minute I might have to take a week off of work, and just because we're going to do it chapter by chapter on this channel.
But you want to read it in a period of 3 days and just shut out the rest of the world because you don't want anyone to tell you how the book ends.
Right. Oh, I won't be on social media, nothing until I'm done with that book.
Yeah.
And when the last Wheel of Time book came out, I think that's 1,500 pages, and I had been waiting for that since the 90s. I read it in 2 sittings.
Wow.
And that's the same thing that's going to happen with Winds of Winter.
Yeah, my husband took a 3-day weekend for that last book.
Oh man.
And he's just he says, I'm going downstairs, which is we never use the basement. It's the place you put crap. And he's like, I'm going downstairs with a chair. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not going to sleep.
Oh man, that's awesome. So my question, let's say, go ahead.
The last Wheel of Time book, the final battle chapter was 280 pages long.
Wow.
One
that's one chapter.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, we are being told even by George that this will be the biggest book yet. So hopefully it will. Now my question is this. Let's say George actually gives Stannis the classic win, not the downfall. Would the North rally behind Stannis? Would it take him maybe burning Theon? Or would they turn against him no matter what he does? If they know a Stark is alive too.
I don't think they'd turn on him if he, helps them like he's been doing.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
I don't think they want him as a king either. But I think Stannis would push on further south towards the Freys and the Riverlands. And here's what I think. The Children of the Forest are grooming Bran.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna, because there's a thing in Ragnarok where the world tree, the roots start moving and there's a huge flood.
Right.
That's the same thing that happened at the Arm of Dorne. I think that's going to happen in the Riverlands. They're going to flood the whole damn thing.
It happened in the neck too. So there's definitely precedent. And George is trying to remind us of that in the sample chapter because Ariana shows us the massive, cave system, almost like dwarves in in Tolkien's books. It's just these massive caves that they must have done ritual, magic in. So he's reminding us of what they have done. And I think he's setting us up for something like that.
With the Karstarks having fallen out of favor, and none of the Stark children, with the exception of Jon, do people know are alive right now.
So
who could lead the North instead of Stannis if he beats the Boltons?
So they think Arya's alive.
They do?
They rally behind. Yeah, they have fake Arya, so they believe she's still.
Oh,
Arya.
that's right.
Right.
I keep forgetting. Yeah.
I can see them rallying behind.
I think Sansa.
Yeah. Now that she has broken away from the Lannisters, but the Littlefinger connection has to be severed first. Jon, if he's resurrected, they would follow him, and I think, unlike the show, they would follow him and almost probably think of him as one of their old gods risen. He was dead and he comes back to life. So
it's not going to be a thing that only a few people know that Jon came back to life. It's going to be general knowledge.
They would need proof. But here's the thing. I don't think when Jon gets, when he stands up again, it won't be Jon in it.
Yeah, I have a good idea.
It's going to be the great other, because there's an Antichrist reference happening there, a big one.
No, that's a good point, man. All right, so we're going to move past that because we did a whole stream on this one, and we did a whole stream on the Battle of Fire, so I'll just go over this one quickly. We head over to the Slaver's Bay. Barristan Selmy, the old knight, mounts up for what might be his last ride, and the scene echoes the great last charges of Westerosi history. Men like Sir Gawain Cobry at the Trident or Sir Raymond Redwine in the legends. The Yunkai aren't just attacking with soldiers, they're weaponizing disease itself, hurling the plague-ridden corpses over the walls with their trebuchets into Meereen, like a grotesque parody of siegecraft, maybe. Inside the city, freedmen, pit fighters, Unsullied argue over loyalty while the Stormcrows weigh their price, and offshore looms Victarion's fleet, Dragonbinder, hidden in his possession, a horn that could either summon dragons or unleash catastrophe. We really don't know. This isn't merely a chaotic scene. It's a convergence of every fault line: plague, politics, prophecy, fire, treachery, all of it. So, what will be the outcome? A, Tina, if Dany doesn't come back in time, and then B, if she does.
I don't think that Barristan Selmy is going to lose, because he is the last bastion of good in the books. And I don't think
we thought Ned
exactly.
was
Exactly. So, and I don't think you can go forward without that, because it's not like there's another truly good, selfless person with honor. And I don't think you can have a fantasy story without that. That's the hope.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely a hope. What do you think?
I think they're going to win, but it's going to look like Euron saves them, or rather, because I think Euron is Dario, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually have the document. Because I made a document about it, gathering evidence. In the House of the Undying, Dany has said she will meet 3 men: one to love, which is Drogo, one to dread, which is Histar, and one to dread, which is Euron.
Oh, so you think the one to bed is Histar and not Dario's?
Yeah. Because the third man, she's supposed to dread, is said to have blue or gray lips, just like Euron.
Yeah.
And Dario is never around when Euron is,
I know,
over on Pike and whatever, and vice versa, right?
And
Dario leads the Stormcrows. Euron's nickname is a crow's eye.
Yep.
And one of his quotes is, "I am the storm, the first storm and the last." So there's like storm references all over. And the prow of Euron's ship is very similar to the hilt of Dario's blade.
Right.
They're almost identical. And when they recast Dario on the show, it looks exactly like the concept art for Euron. It's a spitting image. And Euron is very confident that Daenerys will marry her. Why, if he's never even met her before?
Right.
Well, the thing is, he has.
He's been,
yeah. And Dario wants Daenerys to love him, even though they just met. Right. So you see the similarities there. Yeah. And here's a really sick one. Dario captured 93 of Meereen's ships, right? That's the same amount of ships Euron told Victarion to take with him to Meereen.
Oh my God, you've brought that up before, but it just hit. Holy crap, number. Yeah.
And here's another thing. They keep saying that Euron's great gifts are always poisoned. Yeah, the first thing Dario gives Daenerys is a poisoned flower.
Right.
He's specified, this is poisonous. Yeah. And Euron has blue lips, Dario has a blue beard. So, imagine Euron kind of shaving off the blue beard, the lips would still, the dye would still be there, right?
Yeah.
And here's another cool thing. Euron, the word Euron is a Welsh word for gold. Dario is a word, the name Dario means rich.
Really?
Daenerys is going to be betrayed once for gold.
Oh, shit.
Euron means gold.
Yep. So instead of for gold, it's by gold. Really? Yeah, that's crazy. So two quick things. Ben Veron says he's taking a Game of Thrones class at Columbia. That's freaking awesome. He says we are basically learning about epics and empires, both in real world and fiction world, and you use Game of Thrones as a secondary source explaining different concepts. That's really cool. That is cool. And then if anybody wants, Ruben, share your link. He has he published on Substacks his first novella. So try to support him. And if you can't, share the link. Ruben, if you can't share it in the chat, just send it to me in a DM.
Also, well done. Well done for having written a story and finished it. Starting stories is easy. Finishing, that's another thing.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
There are 208 students enrolled in that course at Columbia, and it is described as this undergraduate course offered in the context of the global core component of the curriculum, yada, 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 is an examination of the globally popular HBO series as a prototype for a comparative understanding of the larger question of epics and empires. In this course, we will expand the domains of our interests and inquiries far wider and divide our syllabus into 4 parts. Westeros, the mythic empire. Persia, the first empire. America, the last empire. And 4th on epics and empires. Our objective will be to examine the main themes and the overall arch of Game of Thrones into wider mythic, heroic, and trans-historical dimensions of our contemporary history.
Wow. That's cool.
Usually when you have fictional empires and stuff in fantasy, they're almost always based on, in part, in empires from our world.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. We know George loves,
rather inspired by, not directly based on.
Right. He's inspired by English history, Mediterranean history. Like, you have the Lannisters, which are the Lancasters, the Starks are the Yorks, stuff like that. It's definitely something that I can see being studied. I mean, George, you could say a lot about George, but his world building to me is one of the best because he gives you ancient history, but he also leaves it open to interpretation. second guessing who is giving you that information and why. Like, there's just so much he does that you never really know what the history is. Even you don't really know what's going on in the main story either, what will work, what doesn't work. I mean, him offing Ned Stark in the first book was one of the greatest moments of me reading some fantasy that I've ever read. Like, the idea that Ned Stark didn't even make it out of the first book was awesome.
Yeah, it's you know, what's the first 4 letters in his name, in his full name?
Who, George?
No.
Mr. Eddard.
What's the first 4 letters?
EDDA?
Yeah, Edda.
Edda, and that. Oh yeah,
That's the name of the book where all the Norse mythology is written down in. The Poetic Edda.
That's awesome, dude. Freaking awesome. I love that you know all that stuff.
Well, you know, I'm from the area that has it.
Yeah, you are. Real quick, I'm going to put Ruben's Substack in the chat. Hopefully, I hate how they cut off. I hope they didn't cut it.
You know, if you really like, you know, deep world building and ancient history and stuff, there's an author called Stephen Erickson. I think he's Canadian. He used to be an archaeologist before he started writing. So, you know, good premise right there. His writing is more magic heavy, though.
Yep.
But he has finished a story. It's 10 books. So, but holy
keep talking.
crap.
I'm just saying goodnight to my kiddos.
But holy crap, was book 1 an uphill battle, because it starts with, you know, it just assumes you know everything. And you don't know shit, right? All the terms and
there's so much to learn, right? We have 11 Alpha saying, and here's Ruben's Substack, guys, so check it out. 11 Alpha says, though the War of the Roses is often cited, there are also quite a few parallels to the Holy Roman Empire. 100%. I mean, just look at Oldtown.
Yeah, the War of the Roses, that's just the Game of Thrones bit. That's all it is. You know, it's and I think he keeps mentioning that as well, just to deflect from, so people won't spoil or figure out the rest.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff there. It's, in my opinion, it's the end of days from the Bible mixed with, like I said, Ragnarok.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely are the person that opened my eyes to the Ragnarok comparison. I mean, there's just so much going on that mirrors it in some ways. One of my favorite lines, and we're going to move on from, because we talked about fire again. You can find it in the live stream, or I'll put it up here somewhere afterwards. But Barristan says in the sample chapter, it is time. I will not die in this pit. Yeah, he's going out swinging, boys. So we're going to move on to fire, but I first want to ask 2 questions before we move on to both of you. First, I'll ask you this question, Stig. Will plague, not the sword, decide this battle? Because there is so much disease-ridden people flying everywhere.
I think the disease stuff, it's probably also some kind of symbolism there. Disease will be rampant in the end of days.
Right.
You know? Yeah. You also have the grayscale coming back full force, right?
Yeah.
But I think it'll harm the defenders greatly. But I think Daenerys' dragons will decide that battle.
Yeah.
And I think also treachery from the Greyjoys.
Yeah. And it could be also, they win the battle, but the aftermath with the disease might cause Meereen to have some big issues when she washes her hands of it and leaves.
Yeah, which means that city will technically have been destroyed by her actions.
Yep.
And
but we won't see her as a villain. Remember, because George is doing a really good job. If he plans on making her one, he's doing a good job to make us empathize with her.
If she's not doing it deliberately, but then again, the worst actions in humanity has been done with good intentions.
Right. Okay, so and for you, Tina, does Victarion actually blow the horn of the dragon binder horn and claim a dragon?
I think that for me, it's a two-part question because
Okay.
I can't. He has to blow the horn. I can't believe him not doing it. It just doesn't make sense. If he's got it, dragons are there. It's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not he binds a dragon, I don't want to think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling that the idea of Viserion, is that the dragon that died first in the TV series?
In the show, it was, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it was her brother. So yeah,
Her brother.
Viserion.
Okay, yeah, Viserion. Then I think that maybe that's the parallel. If we're supposed to believe that George gave some story points to Dumb and Dumber,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe that's part of it. Is Dany does lose a dragon, and in this case, it's to Victarion.
Okay.
There's a thought though, because if you blow the horn, you die because your
right
lungs go black,
mm-hmm.
which is weird because you're not inhaling,
right?
But would it work better if a red priest blows that horn?
Well, I was thinking about that actually. I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe not the red priest, but is he the red priest with Victarion? Is he setting him up so he can blow the horn? Like his one arm is all burnt and grotesque, but it's so much more powerful. Is it not just blowing? Is it actually the act of holding it and blowing it at the same time? Like, will he do something to make him stronger so he can survive it? He might.
Excellent, observation, because that opens up a lot of questions.
I'm marking that down.
Yeah. But you'd think the Lord of Light would want dragons.
Yeah.
If he's all about fire. And maybe fire whites would be ideal to blow the horn. Like, John later on.
Yeah.
But then he's so far away from the horn, isn't he?
Yeah. But will he be an actual fire white, or will he be like a mixture of both? Having lived a second life in his dire wolf, like, is it the old gods and the new kind of being brought together, not meaning the seven, but bringing together to create something completely different? So like, he has that last idea of like, I have to go down and save Winterfell, because that's what he was planning on doing, saving his sister, saving Winterfell. But will he also have this direwolf like rage, like more than like you have Lady Stoneheart and anybody else who's a fire white is focused on like what they were last really like thinking about or doing. But will the second life cause that to just adjust a little, where Jon's more human than not? I don't know. Or more wolf.
Melisandre felt more powerful when she was near the wall, which means closer to whatever's in the north.
Right.
So whatever, her battery is in the north. That's what's fueling her powers, right? And she looked into the fires to see the Lord of Light, and she saw him clearly. And it was Bloodraven.
Yeah.
Because, the face had the birthmark.
Right. And Bran, right?
Yeah, because there was a wolf next to him.
Yeah, chained, like you always bring up.
Yeah. So that tells me the Lord of Light is it's something in the north, and it's not a god. It's just the fire priests are being manipulated.
Yeah.
Right. And because the Lord of Light fits really well with Loki, the god of fire and trickery.
Yeah.
Who will break free from his chains in a cave. Start Ragnarok, right? See how that really fits.
Yeah.
But
it could also be the old god gave himself an antagonist.
Yeah.
To draw out the end,
Yeah. But here's the thing: if Melisandre also looks to see Azor Ahai or whatever it is, right? The prince that was born, and she sees snow.
Yes.
Because it says all she saw was snow, but it's capitalized, so she's seeing non-snow, not snow in general. And Beric passed his fire into Lady Stoneheart. That's what it says. It's passed his fire. That means Melisandre has fire too.
Yeah.
Which can be passed into a damn blade. And John happens to have a very suitable blade for that.
Yeah,
I think the thing is John stabbing Melisandre.
Well, either that or Lady Stoneheart. But I know they're kind of far apart, but by the time he needs her, they may have lost the first battle against the White Walkers, and then they're back down into the neck, the Riverlands, and that's where they come together. She has the Iron crown, the King of the North's crown. She can crown him and then have him kill her, doing one. I think Tina or somebody said it, like the only maternal act ever she does for him is sacrificing herself so he can save the world. Right, Tina?
Well, absolutely, 1,000%.
Yep. And Jon Snow is based on Surtur the Black from.
And his story is?
Yeah, because he's taking the black, and that's a fire giant.
Remember
when he makes love to Ygritte, she says kissed by fire. Yeah, literally. He happens to live near the Bifrost Bridge, which is the wall in this case.
Right. We see him in Thor 3 if people want to put a reference, right?
And during Ragnarok, he's supposed to set the world ablaze with his burning sword. That really fits. And the black, he's taken the black.
Yep.
And they in book 4 and 5, they keep referring to him as a black bastard and black this, black that.
Oh, he's going to be.
Yeah. So it's
we're gonna move on from
a burning sword.
Yeah.
And he has the lady that makes it right next to him.
It's so awesome. Even though we've waited so long, when we do get the book, I'm going to be so happy that we spent 15 plus years most likely creating all these theories and see how close we actually got.
Well, here's the thing, since we have 1,000 theories, we can hand pick the ones that fit. So go, see, we told you, we nailed it.
We nailed it. Yeah,
we were right 32% of the time, but we were right.
Not even. We're probably right like
everything else.
All right, so we're going to move on to the Battle of Steel. That's Aegon VI and Jon Con versus the Tyrell and the Lannisters. So steel on steel. That's the image for Aegon VI invasion. He sees Storm's End, a castle whose symbolism dates back to the Age of Heroes and the foundation of House Baratheon itself. He now wields the Golden Company, famed for never breaking a contract, yet breaking their ancient oath to never fight in Westeros. That decision alone carries the shadow of their Blackfyre ancestry, since the company was founded by Blackfyre exiles. Add to that the Stormlands, restless and ready for a new king, and you have echoes of history repeating itself. On the other side, you have the Tyrells and Lannisters are stretched thin, their armies weary from years of war and politically fractured. Cersei's paranoia at court, Mace Tyrell's ambitions, Randall Tarley's hard-nosed generalship, and all the other things happening with the Tyrells and Lannisters in King's Landing. People are ready for a change. This isn't about dragons or sorcery. It's about knights clashing in the field, banners raised high, steel ringing against steel. It's a test of legitimacy in blood and iron. It recalls the Blackfyre rebellions, echoes the dance of the dragons without the dragon, and even hints at the War of the Five Kings in miniature, but with higher stakes. Westeros decided if a boy with a claim, a sellsword army, and the weight of prophecy behind him can truly become a king. Dun, dun, dun.
I'll tell you something. George has actually accidentally spoiled some of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because, when the show was running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tommen was on the throne.
Right.
And he was asked how, who would end up on the throne, right?
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, well, there's going to be several others that will sit on the throne before the end.
Mm-hmm.
That was so several others after Tommen.
Yeah. He made the comment. It was kind of like he was like, well, there will be several more. Like I can't definitely like that's no question to that. Like, it was like
which means
almost like a throwaway line. Like,
yeah. So we're probably gonna have Cersei sit down on it,
right?
And then Aegon, he's gonna win. Because there's nobody else around that could take it.
Right.
And we have Varys having undermined the Lannisters and the Tyrell relationship, basically doing a divide and conquer thing happening, there. So I think Aegon, being fake or real, is going to plant his ass down on that throne. Who gets it after that? I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be Stannis. I think he's going to get close.
Yeah.
But I don't think, because you have that vision from Daenerys where he has like a shadow of a crown. That means he almost gets it.
Right. It's like within reach, and it just disappears. Yeah. And they, with Stannis, I always thought he would get close, but I don't even know if he'll get past, more south than the neck.
Yeah, and another thing, well, it could be he gets it because that shadow thing could be a reference to the shadow baby. Just be that. But I'm not so sure. Well,
so we have the House of the Undying, which you brought up, showed us a cloth dragon swaying on poles. That's the Mummer's dragon prophecy, and it's haunted readers since we've heard it. Cloth instead of flesh, spectacle instead of substance. It suggests Aegon's rise could be hollow theater. His cheering crowds manipulated by Varys and Illyrio. I can never say his name. Illyrio. Thank you. I always have to hear somebody say it first. Is this this truly the return of the dragon, or the illusion of one stitched together to deceive Westeros? That's the riddle. Are the shouts of loyalty genuine, or is it stagecraft of a mummers dressing a pretend in royal colors?
Well, I noticed something when I was rereading the books last year, and Varys was talking to Tyrion, I think it was. He mentioned Ellaria Sand.
Yep.
And how she cried for her babe. And it wasn't plural.
Right.
It was one of them.
Right. Yeah.
And then we were told that, and Varys let that slip.
Yep. And so we definitely know her daughter died because she was, recognized when they presented her, but the baby was not.
Yeah. So, but then again, the baby could have died later, and then Varys replaced him later. I don't know. But he did let slip that only one. And it's kind of like a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing too, because George is sly about that stuff. So I'm maybe. What if Daenerys was the fake one?
Well, that's what I've been thinking. Like,
she's
actually the real. I mean, if he is real, which I'm starting to believe he is. He would have the direct line of succession. So she would be either a usurper that's actually related to him, or she might be a fake Targaryen. That's why her brother hated her so much, because he knew down deep she wasn't actually his sister.
And she has very few memories of, Storm's End and stuff. All she remembers is a red door.
Right. And she didn't even know where that was.
Yeah, that would be a cool twist, because she is way more show than what Aegon is.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing really flashy about him.
Yeah. I like 11. Oh, go ahead, Tina, please.
Okay, so are we saying that she is a fake Targaryen, or she is just a fake daughter of Aerys?
Well, it could be either or. She could be, because she was. It's like mythology now. Her birth, the worst storm in centuries.
Built up.
It was built up so much that you could see it actually not being true. But even if she is, she could be the Mummer's dragon, because it's actually Aegon's right to be king. He's the one next in succession if he's really Aegon. and she
Gotcha.
being the Mummer's dragon saying, no, he's fake, I'm the true queen. And it really, she's a usurper. So it could be either or. More likely
Gotcha.
the usurper one than a fake one, but I love thinking about it.
But then again, it would be how many twists does it need to have?
I know. We've been waiting so long. Every single sentence now is a twist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but I like this question. How many Reacher Lords will change sides from the Tyrells to Aegon? And it brings me to what I wrote down here. We could be honest. Let's be honest about this one. If Randall Tarley meets the Golden Company and doesn't flip, which I think he may, that's a battle, a slugfest. I would see. I would pay coin to see that because Tarley is a real general.
He's a badass.
Yeah. Tarley, he embodies the Westerosi discipline of honor versus the Golden Company, exiles who abandoned their oaths. It's a clash of old bloodlines and foreign ambitions, the kind of confrontation that forces us to ask who still carries the truer claim to Westeros. You know, is it the old family of the Tarleys and Tyrells, or this new blood who really aren't Westerosi? They are, they have a grandfather that might be Westerosi, but the majority of them are from Essos. Is it these new foreigners coming in and proving that they have claim? It's an interesting thing to think about. But 11 Alpha does how many of these lords? Because these guys flip sides. I mean, whoever looks like they're going to win, they'll flip. They're as bad as sellswords, I think.
Well, were the Tarleys loyal to the Targaryens back in the day?
Yes, because the Targaryens made them the great house that they are. They were only stewards. So
if he's convinced that Aegon is real,
yes,
he'll flip.
And he sees in the writings on the wall, like I said before, the Lannisters, lines, they're thinning out, their armies spread out too far. And Cersei's attack on, I know they believe Cersei's the one that got Marjorie put in prison for her lewd sexual conduct with the High Sparrow. So how long will they actually hold their loyalty to them? I mean, it was already 10,
what else? In the show, Daenerys burns the Tarleys.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens in the books, for different reasons, in different contexts, this would set it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when Daenerys shows up to take King's Landing or something from fake Aegon,
right,
she would have to deal with the Tarleys.
Right, and they're a respected house, and killing them, and it would have to be something not like we won't bend the knee type thing, but it'll be something where she didn't have to go that far, and maybe she does. That's where we'll start seeing the cracks in her armor when she starts killing off people we actually, have some history with in the books, not just some random slavers in Slaver Bay or this or that, like people we've
and some respect for.
Yeah, good way of putting it, having some respect for. But yeah, so that's, I don't know. I think the Battle of Steel is an interesting one. We have seen some good bits from the sample chapters. And I do have some quotes here. I don't know what I did with them. Keep talking. I just got to do this real quick.
So do we think then that Aegon rules for a short period of time and then Daenerys comes, or are we talking years will pass in Westeros?
No, I don't think that'd be cool if we get a couple year jump. I would love a couple year jump. Like they squashed this war in Meereen and she does spend like 2 years over there settling everything out before she leaves, giving like, some of these younger characters a chance to grow a little bit, like Rickon. Maybe we can get him up to 8 instead of 4 or 5 like he is. That'd be kind of cool.
11 Alpha in the chat mentioned something about the Tarleys, and they removed Aegon in the show, and basically what they did was they combined Aegon,
Yes.
Stannis, and Jon Snow
Yeah.
into one character in the final seasons.
And it was poorly done.
In any sense, because if Jon Snow is Aegon
Mm-hmm.
and Elaria's 2 babies got killed,
Mm-hmm.
that means that Rhaegar had 2 babies named Aegon.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't like name the next baby Aegon.
Right?
Your first Aegon got killed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that would be really messed up.
It makes no sense.
None. I swore they were going to name him Jaharis or something like that.
Anything but Aegon.
Anything but Aegon. Yeah, Aemon. It would have been cool if his name was Aemon, but I always thought they were going to go with Jacaerys.
Do you think the show just named them Aegon because of the character?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Aegon,
he took Fagon and merged him with Jon. So that's why he called him Aegon. Like, there was no other son Aegon that was killed. Like, I think even in the show we knew that.
Yeah, because it's confirmed in the show that Aegon got killed by the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then Rhaegar supposedly had another baby with Lyanna Stark and named him Aegon. Would Lyanna Stark name her baby Aegon after her boyfriend's previous wife?
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
And also there's I don't know, superstition, I guess is probably the right word for it. You don't name a baby after a dead baby.
No.
That's a big thing. And I mean, because I absolutely wanted to name one of my sons Dennis after the fact that my grandmother lost her firstborn. He didn't make it more than a couple of days. And I'd always wanted to do that in honor of him. And my grandmother was like, not while I'm alive. You are not naming, a new baby after a dead baby. It's yeah, absolutely.
I think it comes from if you do that, you'll invite spirits in. I think that's the superstition behind it.
Yeah, and I feel like, George setting us up, getting away from the naming thing, is George setting us up that Aemon or Aegon is the true Aegon, or even if he isn't and he's a Blackfire or just some random, Valyrian blood in him, is he showing us he's this, like, it doesn't matter because he is kingly. So, like, I have this one quote, George puts in, George writes and shows him just a glimpse of him acting kingly. And people say, see, I mean to be more than that. I will be king, and soon. And we get parts where Jon Con is listening to him talk to his generals and actually listening to what they say, taking in what they're telling him, and then giving them really comprehensive and smart, orders. The kid he looks at the battlefield. He knows it's, the land is wet. So he has a better chance if he goes light on heavy cavalry, like he looks like he's going to be a good king. So does it even matter?
And then he got trained by Tyrion in that chess game too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the idea about Aegon winning and there being a time jump, because this way, when Daenerys comes, dragons or not, she's the invader.
Right. And he's helped Westeros start to heal after 2 years or something like that.
You know what else that people keep missing? When, and you can see this when they announce the show and they're talking about, the setup for the show. George Martin is saying, there's a threat, in the north that's, threatening Westeros, and it's on the move. And then there's another threat across the sea in the form of Daenerys. So she's a threat.
She is a threat.
And then, the title, A Song of Ice and Fire. A song is harmony. It's ice and fire together. That is what destroys the world in Ragnarok. It's fire and ice together. So Daenerys is a threat. She's not a a hero. Same as the White Walkers, they're not heroes either. They may have superb motivations. We don't know. But he described her as a threat.
Yes.
To Westeros.
Right. Because they're going to see her as that. I mean, there's nobody alive who's seen a dragon, and she is, the Targaryens have been gone for 20 years.
Yeah.
There was, even though, Robert wasn't the best human being, it's been peaceful for the most part, except for the Greyjoy rebellion. They said, a young maid in her name day outfit, which means butt naked, could walk, the King's Road from north to south, and now you have this woman, after we've just settled this war of the 5 kings and Aegon finally maybe settles everything down. You have this invader show up and it's just going to wreck shop.
People get blinded by dragons being cool,
Mm-hmm.
right? Dragons are monsters. Dragons are not good guys at all.
Right.
They kill people. They eat people. We're told over and over again, how they kill innocent people and all that. They're massive monster animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. I love how George gives us the history. So we have seen, Aegon the Conqueror, everything's, glorified and glammed up. But if you think about it, there was only one time when all 3 dragons were on the field at the same time, and they killed like hundreds of thousands of guys. Like they killed pretty much 2 houses. The gardeners, right? It was like the gardeners
and burned them alive.
Yeah.
There's nothing pretty or heroic. It's basically napalm.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's ever said that napalm was
a sweet thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I don't know what do you think? I mean, he is going to take, the Battle of Steel really is, Storm's End, him taking it, which I believe in the sample chapters, he already has taken it. We just don't know how he did it. I think he kind of tricked them into opening the gates and they were ready for somebody to, help them out. Cause think about Storm's End. It's been sieged for how long, And
another thing is, Varys got rid of Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
He basically goaded Tyrion into committing those crimes he did,
mm-hmm.
and sent him away. Tyrion, the gargoyle, is no longer protecting King's Landing.
Right. But he will be coming back with somebody, and he might be fighting a dragon. You never know. So we're going to move on from the Battle of Steel and hit the last one, the Battle of Blood, Euron at Oldtown. And from Arion Damphair's vision in The Forsaken, the sky was red with flame. The sea turned to blood. Tentacles coiled around drowned men, dragging them down into blackness. A horn's cry split the world asunder, and from the depths a shadow rose, vast and terrible. The crow's eye laughed upon the prow. A god made flesh, and all the world burned. So, we're at the darkest point of any of the battles, is the Battle of Blood. This comes from The Forsaken, pretty much is where we get all our information. One of the most disturbingly awesome chapters GRRM has ever written in this, A Song of Ice and Fire. It is the best, like almost horror chapter. I love it. Aaron Damphair, or Damphair. I've been saying Damphair because PH, but it's Damphair. I don't know why I never realized that. The drowned god's priest is chained, starved, and broken, his hair matted, his faith tested. In his delirium, he sees visions, krakens rising from the depths, drowned gods warring in the abyss, a sea turned wholly to blood. Around him, Euron has lashed priests of every faith to the prows of his ship, not just for cruelty, but as a deliberate blood sacrifice, I believe, to fuel some larger sorcery he's working on. Euron's voice drips with blasphemy as he declares, "I am the storm, brother, the first storm and the last, and you will be drowned in me." He boasts of being a god himself, crowning his own madness with the promise that the sea and sky will answer to him alone. Aeron's visions bleed into prophecy here. He sees dead men, again, rising from the sea, their flesh pale and pitted, their hands clawing for life. And in the same breath, remembers Markoro's words from Essos. I see a sea of blood, a man with a crow's eye laughing. The interweaving of prophecy and vision suggests that the Battle of Blood may not simply be this naval clash that people think it is, but a cataclysmic of sorcery, sacrifice, and prophecy, all converging on this one spot right in front of Oldtown. It is going to be off the hook. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm so excited for this one because of the Forsaken chapter. Do you guys think Euron will actually summon a sea monster, or is the vision Euron's having is just the?
I think it's symbolism.
Okay.
But I think Euron's going to behave like a damn monster. And it would be awesome if Dampere witnesses all of it while stuck to the prow of Euron's ship.
And that's how we get to see.
That would be heavy metal.
Yeah. Because let's not forget, he's on the prow of the ship, on the very forward prow of the ship. And right next to him is a naked, pregnant girl. And that is Euron's baby she's carrying. Euron's ready to do some nasty stuff to get what he wants.
Oldtown is basically almost, the fate of the Seven Central. And Euron's very blasphemic.
Right.
So
he's spitting in the face. He's daring the Drowned God to come out and meet him. Like, really, it's almost like Euron, we're not getting the whole story with Euron. There's something we're missing where he is questioning. He has gone so far in questioning the Drowned God. Maybe he prayed to him hard and he didn't get an answer. So now he is outright spitting in his face, trying to get him to respond somehow. And I think he's gotten now to the point with all the hallucinogenics he's taking, believing that he can actually become a god. And is he doing all this and it's actually not going to work? But why would Euron have this idea of a Kraken coming up, if it's not somewhere in the, the ethos or whatever you want to call it? I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, that's Aaron's nightmare. I just don't know if it's prophecy or madness. You know what I mean?
I think it's both.
Okay.
But then Dampere is not sane at this point either.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. He's breaking, and Euron's definitely insane because, they keep saying he was the maddest of them all.
Right. Yeah. Well, and think about this too. Euron, or I'm sorry, the Dampere, he was like, just like any other Ironborn. He was like Victarion. He was a drinking, whoring, plundering, Ironborn. And then he had a crisis of faith or something. And he became, I can't remember exactly what happened, if he drowned and came back, not like their little symbolic ritual, but actually, they all kind of die for real, but he believed he was saved by the Drowned God. I'll have to find that because I remember them somewhere in the books referencing it.
The baptism they do, they basically drown people and bring them back to life, right?
Yes.
Maybe that's what's gonna let Victarion blow the horn, because what is dead may never die. Maybe there's a thing there.
Ooh.
You have to have, if you have died in some shape or form,
right,
then you blow the horn.
And that is like the Ironborn. I mean, all of them pretty much have done that ritual where they're dead, and then a rudimentary form of CPR is used to bring them back.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of that, Tina?
Yeah, Tina.
Yeah, tell us, Tina.
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that the Dampere is not going to, is not in his right mind. So we can get a lot of stories or descriptions of the battle that might not really be real.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of hallucinating. So I could see how we could get, like, he thinks he sees.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Kraken.
awesome, actually. Like, it
So
looks
awesome.
like, biblical.
Right. And
Exactly.
it's just like, pew.
Yeah, he literally thinks he sees monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, he is being set up kind of to do that. I mean, he just keeps feeding him. He's starving, but yet he's giving him shade of the evening. So,
Yeah.
You give enough of
Basically
that.
grooming him for like all kinds of
Right.
visions.
And
But out of all the characters that are left, I don't
Mhm.
think Dampere is gonna make it to the
No.
end. I think he is doomed.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's not gonna be pretty.
No.
He's gonna like break completely and then die.
It's going to be awesome. So I just, there are some fans that think Euron will summon the monster. A lot of fans think that, like a great Kraken, like the one Aaron glimpses in that quote, from the depths, pulling down the living and the dead alike. Others think, Dragonbinder will be blown not in Meereen, but in Oldtown. It screamed, splitting the skies, just as Euron recalls hearing in his vision, maybe destroying the city like a second Doom. Each vision ties speculation to GRRM's text, making these theories more, they're just wild guesses now. They're
Well, if
stitched
it's
together from just this Euron nightmare.
if it's a Kraken, how far is the reach of that Kraken?
Right.
To be
Can it
effective?
come off out, like a little bit out of the sea on shore? Like, yeah, you have a valid point, man. It can't get into Oldtown, right? Like, it might be able to rip down the gates, though.
Because George tends to be, he wants to be accurate,
Mm-hmm.
physiologic, of the animals, because that's why his dragons don't have 4 legs.
Right.
Because it wouldn't be
Right.
possible for a 4-legged creature to fly.
Yeah, I love when he explains that. I don't know. Does Oldtown have a gate facing the water?
Well, look up a map of Oldtown,
Oh yeah, that works too.
because maybe there's like an inlet that
Yeah.
Kraken could go in, and all of a sudden it would be like within reach of most buildings.
Yep.
It would be cool if it just tears down the whole damn citadel, and then
It would be pretty cool.
Sam actually has escaped with a couple of books that are actually vital.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let me show this. Is this kind of does it? Share screen. All right. So, if you're looking at the Whispering Sound, the tower is actually in the harbor, the high tower.
So the
Prime.
Kraken could bring the tower down.
Kraken can bring the tower down.
Prime target right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can find a different picture of this, because it definitely can. I forgot about that. Like, the high tower is definitely in the harbor. And it's on like that old black oily stone that's probably from the Dawn Age. But let's see, do we have anything else where the city, now this one they say has a huge, I don't know if this one could be it, but I don't think we've ever seen Oldtown except for what we've heard from,
Yeah, unless there's because sometimes there'll be maps in the books, won't there?
Yeah, that's true.
But if it's like this,
Mm-hmm.
look at the reach that a big Kraken would have.
Oh, yeah.
On not just the tower, but all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, hold on. I got something. Let me see if I got all these maps. Let me show you the key known world, the west, central, the land, Westeros, on the wall. Okay, maybe it won't show it. The Free City, Slaver's Bay. No, King's Landing. Okay, maybe not. But I may All
Maybe the
thanks to Sean, who sent all this stuff, and I still have to send Tina's stuff. Sorry, Tina.
world
That's
of Ice
okay.
and Fire might have it.
Well,
No?
I do. Oh yeah, the world of it. Good call. Hold on.
Yeah. What do you think, Trina? Would it be cool if a Kraken rips down the tower?
I think that would be awesome.
That would
It
be
would
so.
be.
Because like they always stress how like the towers, like the only object that like kind of comes into height with the wall. Like you could see so far from it, blah, blah, blah. Oh man, he sent me this pop-up. I'm hoping it has Oldtown. All right, let's see. Hold on. This book is so cool. Hold on, let me get this off. And then sent me like a pop-up. Woo, King's Landing, what up? Yeah,
That's
dude, it's
so
so
neat.
cool.
What the heck is that?
It's a pop-up, the Faith in the Kingdom. So this is
My birthday is in May.
this one's cool, dude. So yeah, this is like, and dude, it opens up so that every single pop-up can be up at once. Like it's made so that you could open the book in a funky way where
Yeah.
every
And
single one is.
Oh, wow.
Thereby destroy it easily.
Oh, I know. I've already had like a small rip. I almost had a heart attack. Winterfell, look at the wall.
That's so cool.
Dude, Sean is awesome. I don't see him in the chat enough, but man, the kid he's so good. And that's Essos. Okay, so it's not in that, but you're right. I have the World of Ice and Fire right here. Let's just take a look at that. Okay. And I will hold on and bring you guys back in. All right.
The Wheel of Time has an encyclopedia book, which is like thicker than most of the books.
I love stuff like that,
Oh, wow.
man.
Yeah, there's so much lore in that series.
Mhm.
It's nuts. So it's like it kind of irks me when people, oh, Tolkien had the most lore. I'm like, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He had awesome lore, and it was the first one to really do that. But all you have to look, you just have to look at the pages. How many pages? You know.
So I don't see a map of Oldtown, but definitely in this artwork, you do see that the tower is in the harbor.
Yeah.
I pasted a picture from Westeros.org. I'm sorry, pasted a link to Westeros.org in the private chat if you want to pull that up.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah, and look at the size of that gap in the water, between in the wall there. You could have a Kraken go in there, a big one, because those ships look kind of small.
Right. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Not always easy finding what I'm looking for.
That would be awesome if George Martin tends to keep the fantasy elements to a minimum too, though. It's pretty much White Walkers and dragons, and we don't even see the White Walkers that much.
Oh, dude, this is wide open.
Yeah. So would he have
definitely
on screen ripping down a tower?
Dude, he would definitely do that because look, you got the tower here, and then here, I think this is the no, is that it? Or is this is the Faith's building, or this one of these is, and then you have the Citadel. It could definitely reach, you know what I mean? It could definitely reach somewhere. That's freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
Let's see, hold on, what did I right? So so others think Dragonbinder, like I said, will be blown. I don't know about that. Aaron recalling hearing in his vision, maybe destroying, Oldtown. Each vision ties speculation to Gurm's text, making these theories more than wild guesses, but they are stitched together from just one nightmare chapter. Either way, Oldtown is about to have the worst tourist season in history since Valeria. Unless your idea of sightseeing is Krakens in the harbor and a high tower burning with sorcery fire and priests nailed to the prows as bloody decorations. In that case, bring sunscreen, a prayer book, and maybe a spare drowned god on a string. That last part was kind of corny.
Oh, this is interesting. You know, in the Bible, Book of Revelations, you have the beast.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 3 beasts, right?
Yep.
One of it is the beast of the sea.
Ooh, and that's Kirsty Angel's wheelhouse right there. She even put in here, I think the ending will also parallel Bible with a chained Satan freed from the abyss after 1,000 years. There's a final battle, fire rains down and consumes them. Then final judgment, Satan with the beast and false prophets are cast into a lake of burning sulfur to be tormented forever. I mean, that could be Valeria. And then you have, let's see,
You know those beasts
Mhm.
from Revelations, they fit with different characters. One of them is a scarlet beast, which is gonna it's the only one that doesn't make wear a crown.
Mhm.
Gonna reign is gonna reign over kings.
Right.
That's Melisandre.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
the other one, the beast of the earth and stuff, that fits to a T with the High Sparrow.
Mhm.
And that beast is going to be basically doing damage before the Antichrist returns.
Yeah.
Right? So you have all of them kind of showing up around the same time in the story, and Euron is the beast of the sea, which he fits to a T because that one's going to blaspheme, which Euron does constantly, right?
Yes. I mean, that's his MO. He is always calling out gods. But is he the true villain? Is he like, we have the White Walkers. I think the Great Other is probably the truest villain in the book, but is he our human, like, final boss? We went from, not Tommen, but Joffrey to, the bastard of Bolton, Ramsay, now to Euron, and they escalate from just a cruel, entitled little prick of a king to a sadistic, torturing bastard who becomes, a legit son, to a guy who thinks he could take on the gods and maybe become one.
Well, it also says that those who are killed, the beast of the sea will bless through the first resurrection, which means you're going to be raised. That is the baptism the Greyjoys do.
You're right.
Yeah. So he's ripping stuff off and putting them in there, I think.
Yeah. So.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
There's also going to be 7 kings, and 5 will have fallen. 4 or 5 kings.
Whoa. We already had. Haven't all those? No, Stannis is the last one standing right now.
It also says the beast itself is the 8th king. Interesting.
Like it is interesting, man. I mean, you got a really nerdy guy who can write. That's George R.R. Martin, man. He has taken, I just love the world he has created. I just really, really pray,
I'll just put it in the private chat so you guys can read it later.
Cool.
But it is interesting how you can really apply this to. But it's a long read though, and symbolism galore.
I love that though. I like my new fire and ice. I tried to go with fire and ice, but I also wanted to throw in the Kraken theme. So it's not a good Spork though. I'm getting closer. Cool. Yeah, getting closer with it. So we're going to wrap up with fan theories, Steel and Blood expanded. So we're going to go deeper into fandom's favorite theories. For the Battle of Steel, many see Aegon as echoing the Blackfire Pretenders, with Varys and Illyrio as the puppet masters. Some fans argue his rise is meant to destabilize Westeros before Dany arrives, the Mummer's dragon, fulfilling prophecy only to be undone. Others see a real king in the making, whose victories might force Dany into the role of a foreign usurper. So we already covered that one. I'm just going to skip that because we've already really talked about that. The next one is for the Battle of Blood, though, and it gets a little darker. The Eldritch Apocalypse idea has Euron using blood magic and dragon binder to bring doom on Oldtown, turning the Citadel's beacon into a magical disaster. Some connect his vision to Lovecraftian monsters like the Kraken, Leviathan. Some people even think the drowned god himself will rise. Others expand the theory into Oldtown itself. If the High Tower is a magical beacon, Euron might corrupt it, unleashing chaos across Westeros. So actually, instead of, bringing sailors home, bringing, creatures from the deep home. And there's a chilling subset of fans point to the parallels with the Doom of Valyria, speculating that Euron could cause a second Doom centered on Oldtown. A few even say that Euron could challenge the others themselves, becoming a mortal villain who rivals the White Walkers, while others see him as a dark mirror to Dany, a dragon of blood and shadow instead of the blood and fire. Some even weave in prophecy for Makaro and the House of the Undying, suggesting the Crow's Eye is the man laughing in the sea of blood, destined to twist the endgame himself. These theories aren't canon, we know that, but they reveal how much we have given weight to Steel and Blood, even though GRRM has never named them that. But we see this. So with Euron, I like the idea that his blood magic, if the High Tower is, because we get this idea through the history that the High Tower has some otherworldly presence or power about it, will Euron somehow hijack that and use it to be a beacon for evil instead of like a beacon for sailors coming home. I don't know. And even if he becomes this great villain, Tina, will he become the villain that actually defeats the White Walkers? Just to try to take over, not let them take his world. He's going to take it from that. I don't know how I'm trying to, if you understand what I'm saying.
I don't know about that, but I do like the idea that the seat of the faith of the seven is what could be taken down, like Valyria, by an opposing religion or god.
Well, and we've talked about, Stig, that the faith of the seven, on our episode about the Andals, you could check that out too. We discussed, and I thought that maybe the seven were made up not even before they came from Essos, but when they got here. So if they found a region, we prayed to the Virgin Mother of Zeus. Well, we have the maid. She's, a better version of that. Like, they took all these petty gods and created the seven out of them. And like Grant said, and when they couldn't figure one out, they just said, oh yeah, we have the stranger, because you're either going to have, in a medieval thing, a warrior god, a father-like god, a building god, or like a crone, a wise female god, a motherly god, and a mating god. And then you have the whacked out stranger ones. So
Euron is also the only one of the Greyjoy, or rather the captains, among the Ironborns, that doesn't take wealth for himself.
Right. It means nothing to him.
What the hell is his motivation? He has an entirely different agenda.
I swear, we're going to find out it is something that happened in his past that made him so angry with the gods.
Well, I think he is serving the Great Other.
Either, yeah. I mean, he couldn't get what he wanted through. Well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
And they keep saying, the Bloodraven had 1,000 eyes and one. Well, Euron has one.
Yeah.
So he's there's 1,000, and then there's Euron. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's associated with crows.
Right. He's associated with crows. We've talked about the theory that he was, that Bloodraven wasn't just waiting for Bran. He tried, with other maybe kids that could tap into this power, and Euron is one of the failed ones because he,
Well,
like you
not
said, he brings up,
necessarily.
you know,
He could be one of them, but he wasn't the right one.
right. Yeah, because Euron has a quote
Warg or
about
something.
flying.
You know, he could do anything except warg or whatever.
Right.
But Euron is probably the most evil person in the whole damn story. Because he is pure evil.
Yeah. And the worst part is, yeah, you're right. He's pure evil because there is nothing in him telling him he's doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Anything. And I think that's kind of, we've seen that with each of the villain types. Like Ramsay doesn't see that he does anything wrong. Joffrey never saw it. I think Euron is just our, we finally hit the apex of.
Or could Euron be what they're trying to turn Bran into? Because the stuff they're doing to Bran is almost demonic possession. You know?
Yeah.
And if that has been done to Euron before, then that's what Bran is going to be.
Right.
Maybe. Or could be. Doesn't mean it happens, but maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Well, so is Euron a pirate king? A king of the world, or is he aiming to become a god? His war at Oldtown, will he unleash a kraken from the depths, corrupt the Hightower beacon, or try to commit another doom? Now we know he's been to Valyria, to the Doom. He's gotten that Valyrian steel freaking armor, which is dope. But did he learn something, like it was caused by the Faceless Men, so he knows how to do this,
Well, he kept saying that he's, he's the last storm. So I'm thinking he just wants to destroy.
Right.
The Joker, some people just want to see the world burn. But here's another thing. Bran, in his vision, saw a man with no face on a bridge facing Balon Greyjoy.
Right.
And then Euron admits that he killed his brother.
Right. But he had
which
to.
Means Euron has faceless man skills.
Yep. Or, either he's a face. Oh, shit. You had brought that up before, but I never really connected it. I always assumed he had connections, but you're saying he might have been trained.
Yeah, because Euron, it's in the sample chapter. Euron admits to Dampere that he killed Balon.
Right.
Personally.
I just thought he paid. Oh, wow, man.
Yeah. And if Bran sees a man with no face doing it, then big hint, isn't it? Euron has faceless man skills.
So let's go back to Euron talking about flying. So he recounts a childhood dream. When I was a boy, I dreamt that I could fly. When I woke, I couldn't. Or so the maesters said. But what if he lied? Another time he says, perhaps we can fly, all of us. How will we ever know unless we leap from some tall tower? No man ever truly knows what he can do unless he dares to leap. The high tower, maybe? Bran
fell from a tower.
Right.
So similarities, you fall from a tower, you jump from a tower.
So can you see him maybe like doing all this just to get to the top of the tower to prove to himself he is a god and can fly? Like, I think when he talks about when I was a boy, I dreamt that I can fly. So that right there tells me Blood Raven or the Great Other.
Yeah.
Most likely the Great Other. Yeah. Went into his dreams. But when he woke, the maesters were like, just like Lewin telling him like, no, Bran, this isn't real.
And then old Nan, crows are liars.
Yeah, they are.
That there's a big fat hint.
Yeah, a huge hint, man. I mean, the crow's eye's a liar. Like if you look at the Night's Watch, that Benjen, Lord Commander Mormont, Maester Aemon, they all knew more than they told. They wouldn't let Jon in. They were grooming him to be the next Lord Commander. Why? Because they all knew he had either Targaryen blood or something about him was special, and they wanted to make sure that he was not able to just drop everything and go and try to claim what is his. So they were gonna no, we'll make you the Lord Commander of this, so you have responsibility to your brothers. But we've talked about this how many times, Stig, where that Benjen set him up.
Not just that, when the Lord Commander knows that Jon actually deserted when he fled south, the Lord Commander just hand waves it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, the others have done that. It's kind of okay. Don't do it again.
Right.
But the book starts with Ned beheading a traitor who ran south. So why is it different rules for Jon?
Right.
Exactly. I mean, it can't be known that you get one chance to escape the wall.
Right. Right.
Because then everybody's going to take that chance.
I mean, I do believe, and we've said it before, that final season or season 7 when Jon came back, we said it way before that, but there is a chance he's going to use that as his loophole. Like, I died. I was dead for days. My watch ends after, when I die.
Oh.
So that's the loophole he can use. Will it work? It depends on what George wants to use Jon for. Can you imagine he comes back to life just to be executed because he tries to leave again? That would be awesome.
You know what would be awesome too? Euron destroying Oldtown and using a kraken to tear down the tower or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, rather, he doesn't tear down the tower, but he goes on top of the tower and jumps off to prove he can fly, and then he just goes splat.
Right. Right. Just boom. Hits.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hit water, but it felt like cement. I knew there was one other theory for the Battle of Blood that I liked, and I don't know what I did with it. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. Just give me a second. Let's Kirsty Angel had a couple good ones. The duh in Daenerys means great or great other. Holy shit. She goes on to say the duh means great, great one, and shining. In Elvish, duh, duh, I guess, means shadow, all refer to Daenerys. And then she ends with, and Dane or Daenerys spelled Dane means dead or dead one in Norse. Is that correct?
No.
No.
Dane doesn't mean dead or dead one in Norse, because I am Norse.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. No.
All right, let's see. I had one other fan theory I wanted to tell you guys. I'm gonna find it.
Golden rule: never use Google to translate Norse.
It screws it all up.
It's
Oh man. So there was another one. Okay, so there was another Euron angle where possibly connects with ancient forces like the Deep Ones or the Hammers of the Waters. So maybe he is doing like a Hammers of the Water to bring like a tsunami onto Oldtown. Kind of like implying like the breaking of Dorne. He might just break Oldtown away from the continent. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. And some think Euron aligns with or exploiting the others, making him not just a rival villain, but an apocalyptic ally to them. These theories, again, aren't canon, of course. But it shows you where George has not even named these the Battle of Steel or the Battle of Blood, but fans are putting so much weight into their fan theories. And I would tell you, go look at, just type it in, Battle of Blood fan theories. There's some interesting ideas out there, some crappy ones too, but some good ones too. So do we think, going back to the Battle of Steel, we kind of, I'm hoping Aegon is the true dragon and not the Mummer's dragon. And then I kind of hope that Euron causes like a doom by water for Oldtown, just wipes it out. Like, we never even get to meet a Hightower. think they never.
Oh,
You hear everything about these high towers, and they wipe them out.
Well, isn't Tormund Giant's Bane kind of likely a high tower?
There's I forgot. Was it the high towers that he might have been fathered?
One of the high towers that was with Arthur Dane.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, and then he might be a father of one of the Mormonts.
Yeah, because Tormund keeps saying stuff that a wildling would not ever say because they wouldn't know.
Right. And also one of them talks about sleeping with a bear. Or he says,
yeah. There's I saw a theory video of that, and it was pretty damn solid, and it involved Corin Halfhand too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would really be perfect too, because there are a lot fewer Targaryens in A Song of Ice and Fire compared to an entire Fire and Blood book on the Targaryens, and the High Towers are a huge part of that story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it would be interesting to have them play little to no role.
Right. Like they were such a big role in the Dance of the Dragons. And now main storyline, we hear so much about them, like the Danes. You know, we meet a Dane here or there, like is it Edark or Ned? They call the one young one Ned, but like we've never met a High Tower. That'd be so funny if they all died. What were you gonna say, Tina?
And I think it would be so absolutely interesting to, you know, for a prophecy to be told to the High Towers in Blood and Fire, then the second half of the Targaryen story, about the fact that the High Towers are cursed to become inconsequential.
Right.
Check the private chat. I posted a quote.
Okay.
What's the first word? Mokoro says.
Others seek Daenerys too. Capital O. Others seek Daenerys too. Tyrion says, have you seen these others, lowercase, in your fires? Mercuro, only their shadows. One most of all, a tall and twisted thing with one black eye and 10 long arms, sailing on a sea of blood. So
that's Euron. Yeah, because it was under quotes about Euron, but if you look at the word others, it could be, you know, referring to belonging to the other.
Yeah. Or the others seek to bring Dany into the fold, you know, like they're doing to Bran.
If you say, you know, it's a Sporking's car.
Yeah.
So it's Sporking's.
Right. Right.
Oh, it's interesting that it says 10 long arms, because a kraken is considered a large squid, and a squid has 8 arms, but
so
2 feeding tentacles. No, but 2 feeding tentacles. So together they have 4 limbs, so to speak.
Oh, so I was thinking in my head it was 8 of theirs and his 2 arms combined with it.
Okay, it could be 2.
Yeah.
Well, how many arms does it have on the Greyjoy sigil?
Oh, good question. Hold on.
But that there is definitely a Euron and tentacle, or rather Kraken reference, Tina said.
Yeah.
Sea of blood, that could be blood magic used at sea.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's what it seems like he's planning on doing. Like, you know, I can't remember in the Forsaken if they were like dumping blood into the water as they were tying up Euron.
Yeah, because it's you know, interesting that he says others right away.
And we've learned that every word means something in George's writing. He really does think about how and what he's saying more than I've seen any other writer. I don't read a lot, but you know, it's really like eye color. Just the way someone says something, you think it's one thing, a throwaway line, and it turns out, oh shit, the others really were seeking Dany, you know? Okay, we're almost going to close it out, but I just wanted to check this.
Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It has 8 arms that are about the same length and 2 very long.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Like feeding arms? Or are they like
Yeah.
they're walking arms?
I don't know if these are considered their feeding arms or not, but there are 8 short
like
arms
mandibles?
and 2 very long.
Right.
I'm looking at the heraldry right now for the Greyjoy. It's a golden kraken on a field of black. There's 8 short arms, tentacles, whatever you want to call it, and then 2 very long ones that kind of swoop around.
That's okay. I still think it's him merging with it, but I love that we know more about octopi, right? Octopi. And they're all so delicious. And she did one of my favorite things is right here, listless receptionist says Euron summoning an army of squisherfish people to ransack Oldtown would be acceptable. They steal people according to Nimble Dick. And I just said Nimble Dick reference, whoop whoop, because we haven't had one in a long time.
Here's another vision that Dampere has. He sees Euron as a kraken-like figure with a tentacle face, seated on the Iron Throne with a shadow woman by his side.
Melisandre. I mean, she worships the god of fire and shadow. So
yeah. But seated on, he's one of those who gets planted on the Iron Throne. Like George Morton said, there were several others.
So a couple times where Euron talks about dumping blood into the sea. He boasts that one time I spilled their blood upon the sea and sowed their screaming women with my seed. It rhymes. The crow eye has fed your drowned god well, and he has grown fat with sacrifice. Words are wind, but blood is power. We have given thousands to the sea, and he has given us victories. Whispered among the fleet that Euron's wizards appeased the storm god with blood sacrifice. Euron also implies a future use of holy blood, telling Euron, I may have need of their blood later. He also commands his men to bind captured priests to the prows of the ship so they can feel the spray, the kiss of the drowned god, wet and salty. Also strongly suggesting they will be sacrificed to the drowned god. So he may not create around him a sea of blood, but he's been the last, since he took over as king, feeding the ocean with sacrifices, building up like his sacrifice for this thing. Like it's not going to all be just barrels of blood dumped in. It's going to be the thousands of people he already put in there. And I wonder if they'll rise.
Yeah, and that's, human sacrifice too, right there. But that line where it says, I'm the first storm and the last? Isn't that also biblical? Like, I'm the Alpha and
the Omega. Yeah.
The end.
Yep. The end and the beginning. You're right. I'm sorry. Also, Cotter Pike has some crazy-ish in the waters up north. Okay. I got to end it so I can get my shorts made. So in closing, my sporkling friends, sporkers, Ice and Fire is canon. Steel and Blood are fandom names, but they fit perfectly in GRRM's pattern. Steel gives us dynamic war, echoes of the Blackfires and the Dance of the Dragons without dragons. Blood gives us Eldritch terror, Krakens, drowned gods, and maybe a second Doom unleashed on Oldtown. Together they show us how much of the Winds of Winter may be decided before the others even cross the wall. While a boy king holds the Iron Throne, or will a mad captain tear down Westeros with sorcery? Come back after the stream's over. Drop your prediction comments in the chat. Remember, GRRM gives you a spork, and it's not for eating soup. Okay, that was fun. It's for stabbing the character in the back.
It'll run through.
Yeah. And also come back and let me know who you think will survive any the 4 battles. Just drop their names in the chat. So I'm sorry to end it so quickly. Stig, thank you, my brother, for being here. I know you're up late. And Tina,
no, it's I've been kept up too because the damn road work outside. So it gets, if you guys heard it, it's 10 times louder here.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
45-second warning.
Okay, so where will you find the best content for Spork or A Song of Ice and Fire?
Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found.
Sporking News Podcast. With me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good night, everybody.